Shalom Lakem, Kal Yashara'al. How's your peace, Israel? Welcome back to another video. And we're dealing with the topic at hand, which is, what is the original way to tell the time? And we're going to pick up in the book of Joshua, chapter 10, verses 12 to verses 13. And on the day the Lord gave the Amorites over to Israel, Joshua said to the Lord in the presence of Israel, Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and you, moon, over the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped, till the nation avenged itself on its enemies, as it is written in the book of Yasher. The sun stopped in the middle of the sky, and delayed going down about a full day. That was the sun and the moon's positions marked time during Joshua's battle, showing reliance on celestial bodies. Okay. We're going to go into the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 14, and it reads on this wise. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Okay? God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars for signs and for seasons and for days and for years, marking time by celestial bodies. That's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verses 2. It reads on this wise. This month is to be for you the first month of your year. Okay? And that was the Hebrew calendar begins with the new moon, reflecting the time reckoning by lunar cycles. Now, if you look in the Hebrew, for this chapter, Exodus chapter 12, verse 2, where it says month, it would actually say Chodesh or Hadash, right? Which actually refers to new moon. Okay, so going back to the origin of the languages actually gives you more understanding about the actual time system. So a month is actually associated with the moon, and the moon typically has 28 days within a moon cycle, which is very similar to what a month would be. There's 12 moon cycles within a year. There's 4 seasons. There's 91 days within a season. If you multiply that by the 4 seasons, that means that within a year there's 364 days. That is the biblical time of a year. There is no leap years. That's the original time. And we use the moon, we look up outside and we see the first crest. When you see the first crest on the right hand side of the moon, that is the first day of a month. That's called the new moon. Not the new moon that they call on the internet. They call the new moon when you can't see it. But that doesn't make any sense, because the watchmen of the children of Israel, they were the ones that watched, not only for armies, but they also watched for the moon when they could see the crest. You cannot watch for a black moon, can you? That doesn't make any sense, because it's not visible. It was when they first saw the sliver of light on the moon, that's when they could see that that was the first day of the month, and they would blow the trumpet, because on the new moon, that's when they did all the sacrifices. You see, that's when they were brought. And you'll find that the new moon is different to the Shabbat. Okay, the new moon, you'll find that you can do some form, I wouldn't say work, but you can do things like cooking and, menial work, let's just say. If anyone understands through the spirit, you understand that when you've been observing these things, the Shabbat and the new moon is different. The Shabbat is literally you rest. You should do all your preparation, food, all this sort of stuff. But you'll find on the new moon, slightly different, because on the new moon it wasn't just, it wasn't a complete rest day, let's just say. Yeah, of course, you stopped working, you didn't sell anything or buy anything like that, of course. But you had to go and take goats and things like that. So there was some form of work, because that's not resting. You having to go and bring goats and pigeons and all this sort of stuff for sacrificing, that's still some form of work. So it's a slightly different day to the Shabbat. There is some menial work, let's just say, where the children of Israel had to bring sacrifices which would have required, some force with these animals, right? Just a small amount of work. You're not supposed to be working in selling and stuff like that. It was more the ordinances of the priesthood office that you had to go and partake with, right? By bringing them to the priest to make the sacrifices, right? Last scripture, this is the book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verses 32 to verse 35. And it reads on this wise. And command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feasts. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to this commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and their years will be dislodged from this order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and the seasons and the Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the divisions of days is ordained, lest they forget the feasts of the covenant and walk according to the feasts of the Gentiles after their error and after their ignorance. Yeah, so that's kind of further proof to why, you know, we're supposed to use the times that the Father has prescribed, because it prophesies here that we're going to go off. If we're not observing a 364 day a year calendar, we're going to go off the Sabbaths, the new moons. You see, all these things, these are the things that are prophesied. And that's majority of us. A lot of us are still dealing with the Friday to Saturday Shabbat, which is not biblical. The Shabbat has no connection with the Roman Gregorian calendar. Just because you're starting at evening doesn't, which is correct. That's when a new day starts. But it can't fall on the same Friday to Saturday every week. That's not what this is. Especially if the fact that if you're still using a 365 day a year calendar, you're going to go off because it's 264. It tells you here. This is in the book of Jubilees. Okay? So, we were dealing with the topic, what is the original way to tell the time? I only hope to read and listen to this word to be blessed by this, and may Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh keep you. May Yahweh cause his face to shine upon you. May Yahweh be gracious to you. May Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you, and may Yahweh grant you everlasting peace in Yeshua HaMashiach's name I pray. Selah.